Welcome guys to post-match pint. We've just completed the England game. It's a 2-0 series win to South Africa, 23-12. England led after 13 minutes, 12-0, and the Boks came back, series win. With me is Liam Delcom from the Sunday Times and Tinus van Staden from Beeld. And yeah, we're going to unpack the game. Guys, good win for the Boks.
Obviously a good win. Obviously the series also clinched. I think a huge amount of relief for coach Rassie Erasmus. He's talked about embarking on I won't say brave new plan, but he's used the word brave often over the last couple of weeks. That has manifested itself in his selections. And a lot of those guys have come through with flying colours. I mean, 16 new guys, I think, were selected in that group. And even the England coach, Eddie Jones, commending the Boks on that, because, more players exposed to Test rugby. And it's always good to get a win a series, and, that will embolden the coach, no doubt.
Dennis, how big a win was this for the Boks, considering where we were in the last 2 years?
I think that's huge, and we should also not forget that even though this is the 5th game that England's lost in a row, that they won, was it 17 or 18 games in a row, they equaled the world record. So this England team is still a good team. It's still a very, very good team. I mean, last year, at the end of the year, nobody gave the Boks a shout in this series. And now I also think the way in which the Boks won, being down in both tests early on with a few tries, coming back, keeping that composure, I think this is absolutely huge.
No, I don't think we're going to go overboard. I know the Boks jumped to 3rd in world rankings. Bit of a misnomer maybe, because it's not really something you look at as such. But there's a lot of positivity around Springbok rugby at the moment, and these 2 wins obviously accentuate that.
Yeah, I think the world rankings only significant for the team that's number 1. I don't think all the others care about it that much. But it's certainly a series win that will. There's be a lot of confidence that will be in that Bok camp as a result of this win. You're right. There is a feel-good factor that's built up even before the first test was played. Obviously, people wanted faith to be restored in the Bok ranks, and I think to a large extent now, obviously with the series win, that not completely restored, but I think there is a lot of goodwill towards the coaching staff. And to the players, and if they go on and win the series 3-0, obviously that will only boost the Boks even more.
Tinus, beast, 100 games, which is amazing. If you think what he means to South Africa, what he means to young players, and just the type of guy he is, just quietly goes around and does his work, etc. But saying that, in the same breath, maybe chat a bit about him, and in the same breath, a guy like Kitshoff is really growing into a top world-class loosehead.
Yeah, I think everything that can be said about Beast has been said. What a player, what an ambassador.
So you're not going to say it then?
Yeah, well, I will just, I agree with all the praise he got. That run through the middle, only negative is that he couldn't score. But yeah, no, he played brilliantly, deserves all the credit he gets. Kitshoff, what I love about this team is the fact that we have Kitshoff and Thomas de Toy on the bench. I would, if we can find a good tight head that can anchor the scrum for the first 50 minutes, I'd take those 2, write them on my team sheet on the bench for the World Cup. I love the impact that they bring when they come on in tandem in the last 30 minutes. That scrum they won, they scrummed England off their ball to get us that penalty try, and I think that went a long way in winning us this game. So yeah, Kitshoff, brilliant, but I'd still like to see Beast adding some more caps to that 100 he's got now.
I think what it also showed was the substitution and the timing of it in the 45th minute. People might have thought, oh, that's a bit early, this guy's playing his 100th test. But I think that showed that the coach is right. I mean, he does have to make some brave calls, and he doesn't get caught up in the emotion of it. He obviously had to make a call that is not just right for the occasion, for this match, but we talk about building capacity. We can never lose sight of that.
I think the other thing that to me was interesting to know, if you really go look at it, we left a lot of points on the table. We were 4 times down in this corner over here, didn't get the reward after that scrum over the penalty try. We had another scrum on their line. Yeah. We caught them a couple of times, but we didn't get the reward for that. This team's growing, and they're creating a lot of chances, and that's extremely positive.
I think at Ellis Park, and certainly, yeah, there's a buzz that you pick up in the crowd at the way they are playing. Eddie Jones also mentioned it. He says that you can pick up the fact that the Boks are playing with a clear plan, which may or may not have been the case over the last few seasons, and I think people are enthused by that.
I put a tweet out, and I might get some flack about it in some quarters. Probably a lot of people agree that this is maybe this team, these last 2 test matches, also a message to all the Xbox coaches that you can be brave, you can transform, and you can win at the same time.
And it ties into what I said earlier. I think there's a lot more clarity in a number of issues, not just in selection, but also the way obviously the team plays. Clarity is much underrated, I would imagine. So I would imagine, if you look at the squad, the size of the squad, it's difficult to get lost in the numbers. But, obviously Rusty has put a lot of thought into this, and, they've won the first 2 tests, so obviously they're well on track.
Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, your question about the message to the Xbox coaches. I thought about it the other day. It's really actually interesting. Do you guys remember that Alistair Coetzee last year spoke a lot about building consistency? Well, Rassie, a year later, a year closer to the World Cup, he takes a different approach. He says it's about building depth. It's about getting caps onto players. And I mean, if you can get caps onto players while still winning, and also building squad consistency, not necessarily starting 15 consistency, but squad consistency. He speaks about we have what we need to know who are 3 best or 6 best fly-offs, 5 best hookers. I mean, if you can get that right, and you can build a squad, that it should be difficult for him to pick his starting 15 for that first game in the World Cup. I think, he's on the right path.
And I suppose also, I mean, it's the way things have operated over the last year. If you look at the pressure Alistair Coetzee was under, I think a lot of what he did was, in survival mode, whereas Rassie looked at a blank canvas and started building from scratch as well. And I suppose also when he came into office, he had a lot more leeway. He basically built himself he operates from a position of strength, and Alistair didn't have that.
I think the other thing, what you're mentioning there, is pretty much what Heineke was trying to do a lot of the time, except where Heineke maybe went wrong is that the group of players that he wanted the experience were almost past their sell-by date. They were on their way sort of down, and that cost him, especially in the game against Japan, and then of course pressure was on after that. But back to this now, 3rd test next week, 2-0 up. Do you go into overdrive, pick your best team, win 3-0 like we all want him to, or do you experiment, or do you do a bit of both?
I think he's already spoken about it. I think he more than intimated that there will be changes for next week, and it is part of this brave new world we're in.
You're going to sing now to us?
No, I'm not. No. So I think he needs to stick to that script. I think there is generally a lot of buy-in. So even if the Boks slip up next week, I think there's still the feel-good factor will remain for a little while.
I think Rassie should just go crazy. Put in Andre Esterhuizen, Jesse Kriel, I don't know if I would change the wings, but he has the license now. They set out to win the series against England. They won the series against England. I always felt that England would be the most competitive in Cape Town because they practiced in Durban, at sea level. So I always thought that would be the Boks' most difficult test. So now it's mission accomplished. So he has license to do as he likes now.
I'd like to see that front row that came on the second half maybe getting a start. I think that's the first place, and the midfield is the other place I think we could see changes. I wouldn't go too wholesale. I think you want to win the series 3-0 because your next test is probably going to be Argentina, and they're dangerous. And then the All Blacks in Australia. So you want to build a bit of momentum as well going into that.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be a poor, whatever Rassie selects next week, it won't be a poor side. And we also have to remember that, England 2-0 down. You still have to lift spirits. It's very difficult to come back from in a position where you're trying to square the series and then go on to win it to, it's lost. And as much as Eddie Jones talks about them restoring pride, it's going to be a tall order.
We've got a guest star coming in. He's arrived very late, as per normal. But Martin Ngubeni here with us. Martin, we're saying should the Boks change and go and try and go up 3-0, or should they just experiment? Come a bit in so we can see you. Otherwise,
just open
yeah, see you.
I think a little bit of change won't hurt the team. I think Rassie spoken about the brave moves, or brave calls he needs to make, and he's going to have to continue on that. It's time for him to give an opportunity to the other guys as well. see what they can do. And having seen what a few guys have done off the bench, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue in this momentum and upward trajectory for a series whitewash.
Morgan. I'm gonna grab somebody else up here. Sorry, this
Can I be excused?
You can be excused.
Thank you.
This is a rolling subs show now. There's Morgan Peak here from OFM. Morgan, welcome to Post-Match Pint.
Yeah, thanks.
Just tell us how big this test has been in Bloemfontein. It's been a long time since we've seen the stadium so full.
Absolutely. Last year, the Wallabies, we saw it wasn't so full, and I think there were factors. The Wallabies weren't playing that well, the Boks weren't playing well, supporters weren't quite happy with what is happening. By that time already, everyone was calling for Alistair Coetzee head, and if you remember correctly, there was a lot of dissent in that camp. The whole Johan van Gaal story, and if you remember how Alistair lost it in that press conference a year ago, and Rossi being a Bloem boy, although he's from the Eastern Cape, he lived here for 18 years, he is considered to be a man from this town. Say door. Yeah. And people get excited about that.
Yeah, it's been a great week. We've enjoyed this hospitality, obviously, in the Free State as well. But just on that, I've been asking the other guys exactly what they reckon should happen next week. Do you think there should be wholesale changes, or?
There should be a couple of changes, but I would maybe go more along the route of just testing 1 or 2 combinations and starting 15. Maybe put Emrose Papier on the bench instead of Ivan van Zyl. And maybe give Elton another crack, seeing that the series is one. But I also
or Robert du Preez.
Or Robert du Preez for that matter, yes. But I'd also like to see the guys take a bit of momentum. The Rugby Championship is next. You want to take some momentum, and in the Championship you can't make too many changes. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation for Rossi.
I think it's been a great night in Bloem. We've had a great week in Bloem, and this win just caps it for Rossi, for the Springbok fans, for all of us. So that's it. That's Post-Match Pint Series 2-0 to South Africa. Can it be 3-0 next week? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I think there's a very, very good chance of that. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let's try it again. Just remember the subscribe button down below. Press that to watch more of these rugby videos, mate. And leave your comments. Let us know what you liked about the test. What do you think Rossi should do? Should he change? I'd like to know your thoughts. I'll be looking forward to seeing them. Cheers.